What is going on, guys? Today we are looking at UCL Road to the Knockouts Andre. He is only an 83 rated, and to be honest, there isn't a hell of a lot that you need to do for him. We have had a new game mode in friendlies called Group Stage Glory. Minimum, no, it's exactly 4 leagues, 1 maximum loan, and basically all you've got to do is assist 6 goals with CDMs. Again, that can be in one game. If you manage to find somebody to boost it with, you can obviously do that. Win 9 matches, score 10 finesse goals with a Ligue 1 player, and assist using French players in 11 separate matches. That is just matches, not wins. So it is a minimum of 11 matches. Even if win or lose, you've obviously got to win just 9 and then fill in the blanks with everything else. So it's not that difficult, to be honest. And in general, he's not an awful card. It's a free card, has got the opportunity to go to 85 if Lille managed to get into the knockouts and then also win 3 out of their 4 matches left. Whether they do is down to the question. I personally think he's most definitely worth it. Any upgradable cards that is free, I think you've definitely got to do them just in case they do. Even if you know he's not going to make it into your team, you've got an 85 for fodder down the line. It just is what it is. You never know, there might be a second upgrade for them. Who knows? But in terms of this card, to be honest, he's looking pretty average. Like, he's looking like a standard CDM. Solid player, leadership as his 2 traits. Pace is okay. You're going to need to whack a shadow on him, most definitely. Defending, looking pretty average. Physical, looking really nice, actually. That's one thing that is pretty good from this card. Like I say, 11 matches isn't, especially with the golden goal as well. Everybody seems to be doing that. 3-star, 3-star, 5'11" with a right foot. He's just a standard player. I don't think he's going to get into many teams. He probably will be in like French objectives later on down the line when you realise you haven't got a Conte yet. But other than that, he's going to just be one that's put into the club and probably forgotten about until there's a potential of an 84 or an 85. So let's jump into him and just see what he's like in game. Andre doing some lovely stuff here. Again, he is going to be very, very basic for you. He's going to just kind of have the very kind of bare essentials to start with. Obviously, the earlier you get him in the game, then the better, because you're not necessarily going against full God squads yet, so there is kind of some hope. Probably not in Elite Division now, but in terms of kind of like what, Div 6 to maybe 4 to some extent, you're going to find some teams that are not necessarily full of Mbappe, Ronaldo, Messis, but obviously once you do get into the kind of the higher ends of the game, when we've got more than enough specials, you're going to find he's just literally not going to be able to play at all. Knocks it into Mbappe though. Goes across goal, and it's a great save. Definitely feels clunky at times, sometimes just a little bit slower on the dribble, which is not really any surprise, to be honest, with obviously the card. He is pretty much the same as most years. I'm going to find Mbappe. Okay, we're going to try and find Mbappe, and he's kind of covering a lot of the DM sort of role. And I think the best thing about him, and it is a shame that he is kind of like whittled down to a special card as an objective, but it would have been better for him to be in SBCs and actually got somebody semi-decent from a kind of like a free objective. This card is pretty not irrelevant to most people's teams, even now, to be honest. I think it's the only thing that, oh, look at that, that's beautiful. It's the only thing that EA definitely need to work on is some cards without a huge boost. Like, even if you put him as an 84, it'd still be a little bit of a struggle, but you whack him as an 86, he's still not necessarily going to be used all game, but at least it gets a little bit of life out of him, and I don't understand why you wouldn't, because then you've got a chance of an 88. Are Lille going to win 3 matches in a row, 3 out of 4, sorry? I don't know, I don't think so, but they have got the chance then. I think putting him as an 83 is just a little bit cheap from them in terms of what they could actually could have done with him, really. Andre's just going to show his little dribbling off and does get pushed by Pogba there. Andre, again, with the kind of clunkiness that comes with this card, I think the only thing you'll find is he's going to get caught out as soon as somebody, that's a good ball, as soon as somebody goes for the right tackle, the right kind of steal from him, it's going to leave the defence wide open, especially if you've got your defence quite flat and then he's the one that's kind of released the ball and it's gone somewhere else. You're just going to find yourself with added pressure that you just don't need in this game. Good tackle from him, though. That is beautiful. Sometimes he has some magic. We can't deny that. Andre's seeing it out. Maybe not. And again, this is Just a perfect prime example, a simple just shoulder to shoulder, loses out quite easily there. And it just shows you that the rating definitely should have been increased a bit more. And with the featured team of the week, I thought we was kind of getting somewhere with that, to be honest. Back into him again. Nobody's running off him, which is the annoying part. Obviously, being more of a CDM, he's expected to kind of just pass almost to the midfielders, but sometimes you just need that little link up as well. So going into the overall for Andre, I'm going to keep it short and sweet with him. First, we're going to just quickly show you the objectives that you've got to do. So again, like I said, assist using French players in 11 separate matches. No wins, no nothing. You can use this pretty cool feature to do that on Footbin. Score 10 finesses with a League On player. Again, that can be in one game if you could. Assist 6 goals with CDMs. Again, in one game if you want, and finally win 9 matches. It isn't a bad requirement. 11 matches is pretty standard now. I think the only thing that they've probably got wrong is they just needed to boost him a little bit more. I think even as an 83, even to be honest, even as an 85, I don't think he's going to last very long in many people's teams. Why not go 86, 87? He's still going to be pretty standard. I know it's still kind of like a fodder player as such then, but realistically, even if he gets to an 85, he isn't going to be used. We've got far better midfielders already, and I know he's free, but I mean, for me, he just really isn't worth it. We've already had a Wijnaldum one to watch, so there's an upgraded card right there. You obviously have a Verratti who is better as a midfielder, obviously not as a kind of CDM. You've got Rttk, I think is how you pronounce his first name. Again, he's probably not far off his rating, and he's 750 coins. I don't have to do anything. Renato Sanchez is obviously a good box-to-box. Auer is a good box-to-box. And even if he gets to 85, I don't think he'll have much more stats higher than these two. So, for me, I think it is just a little bit low. I personally would have probably put him at an 86 or an 87. Probably more 86. And then he has the chance to an 88. Because do they have a chance to A, go through and almost win 3 out of 4 games? It's all the questions that are going to be asked, and if they don't look like they're going to go through or obviously win 3 games, then he just stays at this rating. You imagine doing an objective and having an 83, no upgrades. It just doesn't seem right, whereas if it's an 86, at least I can say, well, at least he's an 86. But that is kind of the interesting part. I do think the featured team of the week needs to be kind of rolled over to some of these specials that maybe come in at an 80 or an 81, when really an 84 and 85 would just give them that little bit of spark to keep them going in the game, rather than literally getting into the club and then sending him to the club. But overall, I'm going to give him a solid 5 out of 10. Bang average, unfortunately. Some decent stats, but he literally is just no different to any of the 700 to a K coin players that we can get off the market already. That being said, free card, can't complain too much. Let me know down below if you've completed him. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you all for the next one. Peace.